The story of the life of a young man who touched me, and I pray will touch you and will stimulate you to know that there is always hope, can only just be described by one of the songs, or better put, one of the Psalms of David, where he describes how God looks at those who seek his face and the care God has for everybody, especially young people who are going through difficulties. Listen, it's found in Psalm 34, verse 15. It says, "The eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry." God listens to the cry of everybody, especially young people, especially children. Let me tell you about Ben. Ben, a 9-year-old young man born in the northern part of Nigeria to two very, very, very interesting couples. These couples are interesting because one is a Fulani woman and the other, the father, is an Igbo guy, is an Igbo man. I mean, if you know Nigeria very well, that country of 210 million people, Igbos and Fulanis are generally not friends. If there's anything, they can be called enemies. And what made this couple marry is only still a mystery to some of us. And sadly, when we knew them and when Ben was born, he was born during the Nigerian Civil War, when Igbo and the Fulanis were completely on the opposite side of politics, of religion, of relationship. The Igbo were killed and many of them hated Fulanis. Hence, when Ben was growing up in the northern part of Nigeria, in Jingri, he was so disadvantaged that many people looked at him as a Fulani and never wanted to have anything to do with him. Had no friends. His father was very poor. He had just been ripped off of everything he had. He had to run away from the north to go and hide in his village in the south. And when he came back, they didn't even have a roof over their head. So Ben was living a very poor life. He was not in school. He barely had something to eat. He was roaming the village. I think God took us to Jingri around that time, because we go to Jingri and the young guy that came to visit us in the morning was Ben. Ben was asking us, "Do you need me to do any errands for you? Do you want me to go search for water for you?" Because we didn't have water in the house. "Do you want me to go and buy you something in the market?" And we just wondered who this young boy was. And we started following his story. That was the first time I saw a very young Fulani boy. "Where is your home?" And he pointed to our backyard. Ben's house was right behind our house. So we took some interest in Ben, especially knowing his mother was a Fulani. And we went over and found this nice, well-behaved Fulani woman. That was the first Fulani person we interacted with. And we heard all the story, how people laughed at them, how people would not accept their children, And God told us to start caring a little bit for Ben. So we asked Ben at some point, why are you not in school? And Ben told us more about how he can go to school. And we felt we can help. So we went and started talking to the school, whether they will receive Ben in school. And that's how we started praying with Ben, praying for Ben, becoming Ben's friend. Really, we had no child then. So Ben became a little bit like our little son. And we saw Ben had a disposition for Christ. So we started praying with Ben. And Ben started picking up that relationship with Jesus and started praying on his own. At some point, Ben got into the primary school. The teacher accepted him. And Ben started going to school, learning 1, 2, 3, learning ABC. Ben went through the first year quite well, went to the second year, and by the time Ben was in the 4th, 5th year of primary school, Jesus had become his friend. And when Ben was about to leave primary school, he asked to become a Seventh-day Adventist, to be baptized. Ben had known how to pray. Ben had started asking and crying to God on his own, and God was blessing him. Ben will do an odd job there and an odd job there, and Ben grew. Ben Harrison grew. And when he asked to go to the secondary school, everybody was excited. We were excited. Ben got into the secondary school, did very well in the first year, did quite well in the second year, did quite well in the third year. And one day, after I finished secondary school, Ben came to us and said, if you will help me through, I've just got admission into university to do accountancy. In Nigeria, to do accountancy in the university is not very easy because you need to have very high marks, possibly a credit in maths. And most people don't get a credit in maths, but Ben got it. When Ben got into the university, he became a pillar for Jesus. He started influencing young people to come to church. He was part of the Adventist youth, and with his help, the university started a youth church, and the church grew. And as Ben got from first year to second year to third year to fourth year to fifth year, Ben was a light in the university. And the university asked him when he finished, because his department was quite new, do you want to be a lecturer? Ben was given a lecturer's job. And Ben grew. Ben continued to grow for Jesus. Ben continued to influence young people for Jesus. Because Ben knew how to allow God's eyes to see him. Ben knew how to cry to Jesus. Ben knew how to relate with God. Ben was God's friend. From that Fulani, Igbo, abandoned child, Ben became a professor, a child of God that did honor God in his life. Are you going through a difficult time? Do you know a child who needs to know Jesus? Do you know a child or a young child or an adult? Introduce them to Jesus. Introduce them to God. Because God listens. God hears. That's what God does best. Listening, accepting, seeking. If you or somebody wants to experiment with the God of the universe, talk to him right now. He's willing to listen to you. He's willing to take you from grass to grace. He's willing to take you from nothing to something. He's willing to take you from death to life. His name is Creator. His name is Redeemer. His name is a friend. Ben Harrison became a giant because he trusted God. I will advise you, trust Him, and He will never let you down.